Are you suffering from sickness in any part of your body? Are you traumatized with the challenges of life? Are you depressed, confused, or wounded emotionally? Are you suffering from your past hurt? Are you in need of deliverance? Are you hurting financially? Is your relationship, career, and business hurting? Welcome to the Healing Touch broadcast with Dr. Oluchi.
You are here on Mount Zion. It's not about Dr. Oluchi. It's not about Rafa Ministries. It's about Jehovah that dwells in the house here. God has released unto you. It's yours, all right, but it's not automatic. It doesn't just get to you unless you do something about it.
Get ready to experience the healing power of Christ. Beloved, you're connected to an atmosphere of healing and miracles where Jesus is ready to touch and heal you any and everywhere you may be hurting today.
I'll do it over and over again.
Lord of God, this morning, I want to bring you the good news. You that is on your way to destiny and can't find your way. I want to tell you that the God that we serve is a God that makes a way where there seems to be no way, like that song that we just sang says. We have a God that is able to move mountains and any obstacle that could be standing on your way towards your destiny. There are some of you that are listening to me that don't even know where you're going. But this morning, God is saying that I know the way that I'm taking you if only you can hold my hands. Perhaps you're listening to me and you feel stuck between the rock and the hard place. You feel stuck in a corner on your way towards your destiny. God has brought me to say He will make a way for you. Perhaps you feel confused on your journey. God is saying this morning that He will make a way for you. If you can't seem to even know the direction that you're going, God is saying this morning that He will make a way for you. Someone that's listening to me that may be full of doubt and uncertainty because the path which you thought you know is no longer looking familiar and you're confused. This morning God is saying, I will make a way for you. Just don't take my word for it, only my word. Let's listen to the book of Psalms chapter 109. Glory to God. Glory to the Most High. Chapter 106, verse 9, and I read, He rebuked the Red Sea, and it dried up. He led them through the depths as through a desert. This is the psalmist giving an account of God's people when they were asked to leave Egypt, and they came and got stuck on the way. It was God, all right, that asked them to leave Egypt. It was God that fought and ripped them out of the grip of Pharaoh so they could have their life, and asked them to move towards the Canaan land where he was taking them. It was God, all right, and yet they came. I want you to take a listen to what happened in the book of Exodus. They came out and they fell stuck and they got confused on the way. And let's take a listen to what happened. The people of God had managed to scale through the grip of Pharaoh and started making it as the Lord had commanded them out of Egypt towards the Canaan land. eventually, as many of us Bible scholars are aware of, took so long, many, many years. But the time came when they came out and they encountered an obstacle. It was God, all right, that asked them to take the path. It was God, all right, that told them, Moses, their leader, which way to take them through. And yet, they came out and they encountered the Red Sea. There's someone that's listening to me that God is taking through a particular way towards a project, towards a situation, towards a path, towards a journey that He Himself has asked you to embark on. Just as He told the people of God, the Israelites. And yet, and you're coming out, you started out fine, you're moving with all excitement like the people of God. And suddenly, you're encountering an obstacle. And some of you are beginning to wonder, am I sure that God spoke? Yes. From your inner spirit, you know it was He that told you to move or embark on this journey, whatever that journey is. Some of you, He's asked to embark on a journey to acquire a higher degree. Some of you, He's asked to embark on a journey to walk on a vision or dream of yours. Some of you, He's asked to embark on a journey in ministry. Some He's asked to embark on moving to another level in your profession. Some of you, He's asked to embark on different things. You had Him all right, and you're moving with excitement. So were the people of God. The Pharaoh that held them tight had no choice but to let them go. The forces that had stagnated your life, stagnated your destiny, have finally let you, and now it looks like you're making a headway in that business, or you're making a headway in that marriage, or you're making a headway at your school, or you're making a headway with your business, or you're making a headway with your job. And they were moving confidently. They were moving excitedly. And suddenly somebody is experiencing a blockade. And to make the matter worse, Pharaoh has suddenly said to himself, what in the world did we do letting these people go? He commanded his foot soldiers, his horse soldiers, his chariots. He said, come on boys, come on guys, come on soldiers. We're going to go get them. No. We've been bamboozled. We've been hoodwinked. We got to go get them back. And they began on a hot pursuit on the people of God. Then Pharaoh and his soldiers on chariots. You got to understand that the Egyptians were superpowers in those days. They had the best ammunition. They had the best soldiers. They had the fastest chariots. And so came these chariots roaring towards the people of God. And they kept, God said, told Moses, keep moving. And they kept moving, trying to move fast enough to get away from Pharaoh and his soldiers. And all of a sudden, there was the Red Sea. They encountered the Red Sea. There's someone that's listening to me that's looking at the Red Sea. An obstacle. Some of you are looking at mountains. Obstacles. Some of you are looking at different kinds of challenges that are threatening your journey, that are threatening your project. Obstacles, challenges that getting you stuck and between the rock and the hard Glory to the Most High. And in the book of Exodus chapter 14 verse 15, the Lord said to Moses, "Why are you crying to me?" Poor Moses, the leader, he was overwhelmed because his people were beginning to point at him, say, "My goodness, this guy brought us out of Egypt. At least, if we wanted to die, we could have just, it would have been easier to do that there." They began to accuse him. They began to get angry at him. And poor Moses didn't know what to do. He began to cry. He said, "Lord, it is you that took me through this path. You asked me to engage on this pathway, this track of the journey. But what is this that I'm seeing? I'm looking at a Red Sea. There's someone that God has. You're pretty sure that it was God that asked you to take off on that venture. It was God that asked you to take off on that journey. It was God that asked you to take off on that project. It was God that asked you to take off on that marriage. It was God that asked you to take off on that business. It was God that asked you to join that company. And suddenly now things are beginning. Challenges are cropping up. And what still you feel stuck between the Red Sea and Pharaoh and his foot soldiers. And Moses, the Lord said to Moses, "Crying will not do it." And I said to you, my beloved, there are times when, it's good to get emotional, but there are times for emotion, and there are times when you gotta straighten yourself and listen for direction. He said, "Why are you crying to me? Tell the Israelites to break camp. As for you, lift up your staff, stretch out your hand over the sea and divide it so that the Israelites can go through the Red Sea on dry ground." Beloved, there's someone that's been crying over this situation. You found yourself on this, stuck between the rock and the hard place, between the Red Sea, like the Israelites and Pharaoh's soldiers. And you've been crying, "My goodness, what am I going to do?" Like Moses, I hear the Lord saying, my beloved, my child, it's time to stop crying and listen up to me. Listen up. God got instructions. There's some moves I want you to make concerning that which I've asked you to do. He said it's time to stop crying. It's time to make some moves. To make some strategic moves. Because I am God, Jehovah Almighty. I cannot bring you this far to dump you. I cannot bring you this far to leave you. I cannot bring you this far to abandon you. I cannot bring you this far to be slaughtered. I can't bring you this far to be overwhelmed. I know what I'm doing. And the Lord said to Moses, he said, "Tell them to break camps." In other words, to divide themselves. He said, as for you, lift up your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea and divide it so that the Israelites can go through. And the hand of Moses has been a staff. When he encountered God at the burning bush, the Lord asked him what he had in his hand. And it is this same staff that God has used to do some powerful thing. And even as I speak to you, my beloved, I hear the Spirit of the Lord saying, you got what it takes to break through this obstacle. I hear him say, what is it in your hand? That which I've given you. There are some of you that God has, by divine orchestration, has given you some specific tools that you're not even aware of what that stuff is there for. You've been hanging around it, or it's been hanging around you for quite a while now. You didn't know what it's been there for, but it's been there, planted by God in your life for such a time as this. And the Lord said to Moses, lift up your staff, touch the sea, and divide the sea. I hear the Lord saying to someone that's listening to me, He said, lift up your hand and use that which I've given you. Even as I speak, is bringing to your heart, to your memory, that which He has given you. Use that employee which I've given you. Use that finance which that made its way towards your life dramatically, miraculously. Use the wisdom that I have given you. Use the staff I have given you. Use the experts that I have brought into your environment. Use that which I've given you. Each one of you that's on this journey, whatever journey it is, there is a staff in your hand. And I hear the Lord say, use it and divide the sea. Use it and divide the obstacle. Use it and clear up the mountain. Use it because it's there for this particular purpose. And Moses, in verse 21, glory to the Most High. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea. The Lord drove the sea back with a powerful east wind all that night and turned the sea into dry land, so the waters were divided. Glory to the Most High. Moses stretched out his hand, and there was a powerful east wind. Anybody that had encountered a powerful wind will know that it comes with noise. It not only comes with noise, but it comes with some shakings. Beloved of God, I'm trying to say that the Lord is telling you to make some strategic moves in your environment. For this obstacle to give way, there are things you gotta make. Strategic moves. He said, divide the sea with the staff in your hand. Use that which are planted in your life to make some moves. And as the word tells us, as soon as Moses did that, there was a powerful wind that moves, that began to shake the foundation of the Red Sea. Beloved of God, there are certain moves that God is expecting you to make that's going to move things within your environment and shake things up. I'm trying to say that things are about to shake up in your environment. There's someone that's listening to me that's going to have some shaking around their lives. Some taking, as you begin to take these steps, these strategic steps, things are going to begin to move. Some shaking around your environment, some are rearranging. Someone that's listening to me is about to experience some shaking. God is about to rearrange things. Don't worry, because He's going to shaking out some things and realigning things. And that the wind was blowing off some things. There are some things that God is going to cause to blow off of your life, some obstacles. Things that have been there, that you think are there, that have been hindrances, that is about to blow off with the east wind that He has planted in your hand with what is in your hand. It's going to move things. It's going to shake some things. It's going to blow off some things and blow off some chaos around you. It's going to blow off some obstacles. Things that have been standing. People have been standing as obstacles. Situations that have been standing there. They're supposed to be, but God is about to blow them off. About to rearrange things in your life, rearrange things in your business, rearrange things in your family, rearrange things rearranging from your ministry. He's about to rearrange things. There's a shaking, all right? Expect a shaking because God is making a way. He's making a way. And the east wind began to blow all night. You can hear it all night. As this shaking is going on, you're going to feel like you are in darkness. But it's all right because God is doing some shaking. Yes, tears may be in the night, but joy will come in the morning. There is a path that's about to break through in your life in the morning. It may feel dark as this shaking is going on, as this wind is going on. There may be some shaking and it may be all dark around you. You may not feel no one around you, but feel all dark. But I am trying to say to you, my beloved, that joy is coming. Joy is coming with a breakthrough in the morning. And so Moses, he did exactly. The Lord drove the sea down, powerful east wind all that night, and turned the sea into the dry ground. So the waters were divided. And the Israelites went through the sea on dry ground, with the waters like a wall to them on their right and on their left. Glory to the Most High. Beloved of God, after the east wind blew open a dry ground in a mighty Red Sea, something that never been done before. There's a miraculous breakthrough that is coming your way to move the mountain off your path of destiny. There is a miraculous breakthrough that is coming your way to move off the Red Sea, the water that has covered your path, your track of destiny. There is a miracle, something that has happened that never happened before in the history of humanity. The Red Sea had never been parted. God created a path and the waters were all heaped on both sides, for the people of God to pass through. Beloved of God, that which God is said to do, to move the mountain of your way, to move the waters of your way, to move the challenges of your way, to move the obstacle of your way. It's going to be so miraculous that anybody that sees it and hears it will know that this is the finger of God. Because God will make a way where there seems to be no way. And so they walked through. The Pharaoh and his foot soldiers were still in hot pursuit. There are times when the evil one continues to chase the child of God because they are stiff-necked. When the enemy wants to stop you from getting to your destination, he is stubbornly determined. Unfortunately, Christians are too, easy, but the enemy is stubbornly determined. The forces that are chasing after you are stubbornly determined to stop you. That even as you're making your way through the path that God has created you, you don't have to worry. You don't even need to look back. Because them forces, they're never giving up. They're still chasing. They're still chasing. Pharaoh and his foot soldiers kept chasing. They kept chasing. They kept going after God's people. And the Lord said, just keep marching. And I hear the Lord saying to you, I'm going to create a path in this Red Sea for you. I'm going to move this mountain. But just focus on where you're going. Don't worry about them forces that are after you. Don't worry about them accusers that are after you. Don't worry about them mockers. They will keep on mocking. Don't worry about them, don't worry about Pharaoh and his foot soldiers. Just keep on, get your focus on moving past the Red Sea. Because moving through this tract of land that I've created for you. Because this breakthrough is just for you to pass through. It's not for anyone else, not for the foolish Pharaoh and his foot soldiers. He just keep moving, stop looking back, keep moving. Don't look back at what is happening. Just leave them there. Leave them, Pharaoh and his foot soldiers. Let them keep coming, keep moving. And the people of God kept moving through the path that God has created for them. Someone that's listening to me needs to keep moving because God is taking you through. He doesn't start and don't finish. He said to complete, to take you through, all the way through to the land, all the way through. And God's people move through. And by this time they went through, because Pharaoh and his foot soldiers were hell-bent on chasing them. They were already mid-ground in the middle of the Red Sea. They were stupid and foolish enough to believe that the God of Israel will allow them to pass through and come through to touch his anointed. And all of a sudden, the water began to swell up. That water that divided began to swell up right in the middle of the Red Sea. And unfortunately, the foot soldiers of Pharaoh that are chasing, pursuing God's people for doing nothing but wanting to have their own lives, were all caught up and buried, and their carcasses were spread all over the Red Sea. I decree this day in the name of Jesus that every pursuer of your destiny, everyone that has decided and devoted and has sworn that over their dead self with their own life, will they let you move speedily towards your Canaan land, shall be buried in the Red Sea in the name of Jesus. But the bottom line, my beloved, is that God made a way for them. I don't know where you feel stuck, but I'm here to give you the news. Good news it is that God will make a way. I don't know what is getting you confused in your track, in this journey that God has sent you. But I'm here to tell you that God will make a way. He will make a way for you. It does not matter what it is. It does not matter what that obstacle is. Some of you are facing obstacles of sickness. Some of you are facing obstacles of financial obstacles. Some of you are facing, family obstacles. Some of you are facing addiction obstacles, habits that have gotten strongholds in your life. You can't let go. Each time we talk about addiction, people's heart goes to drugs and alcohol. For those are substances that people can be addicted. But do you know there are other stuff? Anything that can get a hold of you, that when you want to stop, you can't stop. It's a habit, it's a stronghold, it's an addiction that needs to be broken. Some of you, so there is no obstacle that God cannot break, is the point that I'm trying to.
Thanks for joining us today at the Healing Touch broadcast. We hope that you've been blessed by today's ministration. Beloved, it's our treasured privilege to be a vessel in God's mighty hands to minister healing to you. Please partner with us to take the gospel and the healing power of Christ to the nations. Visit our website right now, www.droluchi.com, and sow our financial seed of support. For more information, call us on +1 281 657 9422. You can write us or send us an email on Rapha Ministries / Dr. Oluchi Otti Ministries, P.O. Box 1272, Olive, Texas 77411, or send us an email, droluchi@gmail.com or raphaministries10@gmail.com. Follow us on social media platforms, Facebook /Reverend Dr. Oluchi, Twitter @Dr. Oluchi, Instagram Dr. Oluchi. Thanks, and God bless you as you do.